Hello and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News. Today I want to tell you about where Rare Breed told the ATF they could stick it and why this LARPer really ain't fooling anybody. But before we get started, I want to introduce you to the luxurious comfort and style inherent in every TNVC purchase. Discriminating connoisseurs like yourself deserve nothing but the finest in low light viewing devices, so stop by and see what TNVC.com can do for you. If you like seeing stuff more than not seeing stuff, take a look at our sponsor, TNVC.com, your source for quality night vision gear to make you the bump in the night. Well, the headline news for today is the beef between Rare Breed triggers and the AFT. The short of it is AFT claims the FRT-15 trigger made by Rare Breed is a machine gun. Rare Breed says it's not, and they're putting up a fight, as you might expect when the owner of the company is a lawyer. The FRT-15 is a drop-in forced reset trigger pack, which allows a shooter to pew much faster than normal by forcing the trigger to move forward and reset as the bolt travels to the rear, but it also prevents hammer follow by locking the trigger until the bolt is closed. Binary triggers and bump stocks can both allow the hammer to be released before the bolt gets closed, but that can't happen with the FRT-15. Rare Breed maintains their trigger is not a machine gun because it cannot fire more than one round each time the trigger is pulled. The AFT claims it is a machine gun because it's like really fast or something. They started off with their typical overbearing Fed noises by sending a cease and desist letter to Rare Breed, in which they arbitrarily changed the wording of federal law so they could define a machine gun as a device which fires more than one round by a continuous pull of the trigger, instead of a single function of the trigger the way the law actually says. They went on to demand Rare Breed stop making and selling FRT-15 triggers and contact the AFT to come up with a plan for the triggers which were already sold. The letter threatens criminal charges for failure to comply, which would be intimidating enough for most businesses to immediately just do as they're told. But Rare Breed didn't. They fired back a letter in which they very clearly state they believe the product to be legal and not subject to the 1934 NFA or the 1968 GCA, so they have no intention of ceasing manufacture or sales of the FRT-15. They cite similarities to the 3MRC TACCON trigger, which is also a forced reset trigger and has an ATF approval letter, and they point out the AFT hasn't even bothered to produce any evidence or reasoning or even address the conflict with their previous position. So Rare Breed filed suit against the ATF. I think the AFT really stepped in it this time. They lost on bump stocks, they'll lose again on appeal, and they're going to lose on the Rare Breed case too. The law says what it says, no matter how much the AFT wishes it didn't. And they don't have the authority to make the law say something different. Not even if they close their eyes and clap their hands and just wish really, really hard.
Wherever you are, clap your hands and she'll hear you. Clap! Clap! Don't let Teet die! Clap!
Have y'all seen this photo of an American terrorist threatening a journalist with a rifle? If you're paying attention, there's probably something that seems just a little bit off about this to you. So let's take a closer look. This chubby LARPer does bear a passing resemblance to armed folks we've seen in and around protests over the last year, at least at a quick glance. But then you notice his holster is empty, his rifle doesn't have any sights, his finger is on the trigger, and his stance looks like he's never held a gun in his life. Okay, well, it's not like we don't see stupid stuff from the protest LARPers anyway, so what's your point, right? Well, he's wearing airsoft goggles, and it's an airsoft toy. In fact, it's this exact model, except for some inexplicable reason, he removed the crappy little sights which come with the toy. And it's sporting this mock silencer. And then you notice the photographer he's pointing it at appears to be entirely unconcerned about the imminent danger he's in. And then you realize there isn't a single solitary soul present other than the LARPer himself and, of course, his 3 photographers. Now, If that was as far as it went, and all we had to look at was this one photo, you'd be forgiven if you thought it looked like very badly done agitprop. But wait, there's more. It turns out the original image is owned by Getty and is in a collection which features several other photos of our hero, like this one, where he's staring directly into the camera and trying awfully hard to look like he's surrendering to police, while the 5-0 hardly even seem to notice he's there. It's also easier to see his empty mag pouches and the plate carrier with an acute armor deficiency from this angle. Or this photo, where he almost seems to be begging cops to notice him. Now, I'm not saying this is conclusive proof the photo is staged for propaganda, but it sure looks like it. What do you think? Is this guy just a mouth-breathing idiot? Or is he a mouth-breathing idiot feebly attempting to fake a narrative about guns bad? Well, friends, that's all I have for you today, but before I go, I just want to take the time to remind you guys to keep up the pressure on your Congress critters to oppose anti-gun lobbyist David Chipman as director of the ATF. Phone numbers and details are down there in the doobly-doo as always. And if you want to get email alerts for the best deals, projects we're working on, and the hottest stuff you missed on the ARFCOM forums, you'll also find a link down there in the doobly-doo for our newsletter. And remember, our robot overlords in the tube of yous know what we want better than we do for ourselves, so they helpfully unsubscribe viewers from channels like ARFCOM, which express wrongthink. Censorship makes puppies cry, and Captain America is very disappointed. So don't forget to check every now and then just to be sure you're still subscribed to us, and while you're at it, make sure you ring that notification bell so you never miss a word of our gun rights propaganda. If you also want to help us keep bringing you banger content like this, please support the folks who support us. Not only does TNVC.com give you night vision with that cool, refreshing, never bitter taste that goes down smooth, they also have mounts, lights, swag, and all sorts of gear to make you the bump in the night. I love you.